Nico, you ready?
Yeah.
It's gonna be fire, you know.
It's the end of the run-in, and we basically know 1-2 games left. Who are the best in every category? Let's start with the Prem.
I like that. And if we're going to go with the Prem, let's go for the head honchos, of course, the managers or head coaches that are in this discussion, and some of the people that's going to be going back and forth. Oh, I like it. Look at this. The manager we've got here, the best signing we've got here, the flop of the season, the best young player, and the most improved. Oof. I know. It's going to be... Let's go for the manager first, because I feel like this is probably where a lot of people are going to have the front runners. And as you can see, Sofascore put their prediction up. Yes or no? Do you agree? Mikel Arteta, is that the front runner for you?
He has to get it done.
Okay.
There's another candidate that it doesn't matter at this point. They potentially could make Champions League, but he has already shown me how good of a manager he is, and that's Andoni Iraola. Mikel Arteta has to get it done, and he's very close to getting it done, and I don't think you can use that against him now at this point. He got Arsenal into a position to win the Premier League, and he won it. Do you not like his style? Okay, sure. Is he too defensive? Okay, sure. But he put together a squad that turned into a team that won the Premier League. And I think if you do that, you should win Premier League, just considering the situation that Arsenal are in. Now, my question is he manager of the season if Manchester City wins the title?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
No. I believe that closure in terms of this situation is important, because the narratives are also important. So knowing that they've been the bridesmaids for so long, knowing that he's had so many consecutive second-place finishes, I think if he does go over the line, he definitely should be considered a strong favourite. But I love your shout about Iraola because of the sheer factor of looking at Bournemouth's unbeaten streak across Europe, what they've able to do, but also the outgoings that they've had. Think about how many quality players have left their squad last summer. Thinking about, look at it, it speaks for itself. Now, this is the quality that's left your change room. Of course, we know that's an incoming, but at the same time, it tells you overall that he's had a lot of balance to turn around and do. He's had a lot of balance to turn around and focus on. And the only thing that I love about all of these, when I look at all 5 of these names, is he's replaced it with quality, but the system hasn't changed. They're still high pressing. They're still considering themselves one of the best teams across Europe. And when we now think about it, we're talking about this team actually potentially being in the Champions League. Yeah. Now, we know that he won't be at the helm in terms of at Bournemouth, but I do believe it could be fitting when you look at the progression that he's had, the way that he's improved the squad depth, and most importantly, he hasn't changed his philosophy. And when you have a manager who has never changed their philosophy, sometimes you've got to give them their flowers for what they've done in terms of...
Yeah, definitely, and I think he makes individual players better too, and you got to look at that. Look at Krupi, how good he's become in this season, especially after losing such iconic players. We saw that list there. And these are small tweaks in how much better they've gotten from last season to this season, but they clearly have had a progression. If Aston Villa wins the Europa League and finishes 5th and only 5th in the Premier League, the 6th place team in the Prem will go to the Championship, and as of now, that's Bournemouth. That
shows you exactly in terms of the standard that he said. And also, can I say something about player development? Looking at all of those players, how many have kicked on and had great careers after leaving that Bournemouth system? So there's still question marks about whether or not they're able to do it. All right, let's do the young player of the year next, because I always think this one's a little bit contentious, just overall, because when do you classify a young player? What age do you stop a young player at in your mind?
So 2004 or later is what we have, but yeah, around that 23
okay.
year mark, yeah.
All right, let's have a look at the list first of all. I think the list probably will help add some context. Now, Nico, I'm not going to say anything to you, but I'm going to say to you, my actual nomination for a young player of the year is not on here.
I know who it is.
Who is it?
Nico O'Reilly.
Come on, because you already know. He's been the standard this year. The consistency, the flexibility, the trust from one of the world's best managers, his development, scored some massive goals this year. I almost think it's a shame that we don't have Nico on the list, and he's going to have a busy 2026. He won't be in Mykonos. No, he'll be over here enjoying the World Cup. No two ways about it. But who do you have in terms of your front forward nomination?
Yeah, definitely. Listen, Matheus Fernandes has been in a particular situation because a relegation battle is tough, and to be that creative force in a team that at times has struggled to create has a certain value, right? But if you're looking for that type of player to move on, I wonder where Sofascore might think he's the best fit for. But I do like a Wharton. Adam Wharton has shown that he has so much quality in his creativity and his composure on the ball. I like Wharton. Wharton's my pick, but I want to focus on Fernandes because he brings a lot to the table, including that tempo setting, that ball carrying through the pressure, and the box-to-box connector. So thinking of dominant possession, 2 midfield partners, freedom to roam, I wonder where Sofascore thinks he should fit next.
not.
That's a
sold.
big jump, Sofascore.
I'm not sold. Let me tell you why I'm not sold. Because we can look at it on paper and we can say all of these statistics are great, all of the things that are strengths for him and things that he can bring to a team. But you also have to ask yourself, who's he replacing? He has to replace Casemiro?
Right.
That's some big shoes to fill. I haven't seen enough on a consistent basis in a West Ham shirt to let me know that you can step into a massive shoes like Casemiro's and make it work. Because I will say, West Ham have been in this situation before. I've seen West Ham struggle before, and I've seen world-class players that have then moved to Manchester United, get them out of this situation, i.e. Carlos Tevez. He wasn't able to achieve that right now. And so that really does indicate as to, yes, you can have a great individual season, but are you able to actually make a real implement on any team?
Yeah. I'm starting to think, like, him and Kobe Mainu,
Would it work?
for Manchester United to consider.
There's a lot of discipline. There's a lot of real discipline in that midfield.
Let's move on to La Liga then, the
Okay.
end of the season awards in Spain. This one's an interesting one. I feel like Sofascore might go heavy Barca here. Of course, best manager Hansi Flick. There could be a couple question marks considering the other teams in La Liga, but very well deserved. The best signing, Borja Iglesias for Celta. The flop was Salomón Rondón with Oviedo. It was always going to be hard.
Rondón, man.
Yeah. But
I didn't want him to be on the list, but I
with
understand.
Oviedo, unfortunately. Best young player, Lamine Yamal. I think that's obvious. And then most improved player, Abdeez. Betis with a nice little season. Pellegrini back into Champions League. Now with Betis. I'm all right with this. Let's look at Hansi Flick.
Yep. I'm not mad at this either. I'm loving the fact that both looking at the individual seasons that Celta Vigo have had and Betis have, they're getting some recognition on this, but this has been the standards. I mean, we saw in terms of what he did last year in producing that incredible treble, and now, of course, you back it up again with just excellence. And Real Madrid now need to respond, and I know we always consistently compare the Real Madrid and Barcelona conversation.
But you have to.
But there has to be, because those two are the two figureheads of the league. And you think about what Hansi Flick has done. I've been so impressed with the sheer fact of there's been question marks over the high line. There's been question marks over the defensive stability. There's been question marks over whether or not he was able to progress and take this team another step further. The combination of both the young players that he's integrated into the squad and also the discipline that he shows on a consistent basis and being one of the best attacking teams in Europe,
This
plaudits.
is probably the most noteworthy thing, just because of the financial situation that Barcelona has been in and the stress in order to sign players. Over the last 2 seasons, the most expensive player that they signed was Dani Olmo, and through departures, they've sold off bits and pieces of their squad in order to make up for that, so they can be in this green, so they could actually register these players. And this guy has done incredible work in order to not only make this Barca team competitive, but restore a certain identity that there hadn't really been with Barcelona since Messi left the club.
Of course.
A lot of spirit and belief from the fans in what Barcelona is doing. Yes, did they botch the Champions League? I think they did. They've been so close twice, losing to Inter, losing to Atletico Madrid. They're gonna go again. But when you're just considering La Liga, they've been so good. Let's talk Bundesliga.
I like it. Let's go to Germany. This is one of my favorites because obviously we know, and I feel like this is going to be very Bayern heavy across the board. But there are small elements in terms of players that have done really, really well. And I'm glad that that's been one that's been highlighted already. Diomande has been fantastic. I like the fact that he's getting a double recognition. No doubt about it, Vincent Kompany is going to be a forefront because of the individual achievements that they managed to achieve. I mean, look, over 100 goals. The goal difference was crazy. But let's actually have a look at the most improved player. And I want to look at Schlotterbeck straight away and just get me your Nico to Nico thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, he has improved a lot. A little bit more of a commanding presence. The defensive contributions have increased. And so much so that he is actually now in the shop window. A lot of clubs are looking at him to potentially replace some defenders on their teams that might go. I'm very interested to see where Nico Schlotterbeck is going to end up. It's time perhaps for him to take that next step. And let's see if he can keep on growing as a center back. You look at this, the accurate long balls over ball recoveries, and Nico Schlotterbeck stands alone. You know, he's a center back that is really good at gaining the ball, and he's a really good center back playing that long ball. So if you're looking for something in particular, a quick playing center back, Just take a look at Nico Schlotterbeck. I have a feeling that he might go in the summer.
I don't know if he's going to go, only because of the most important thing we just saw, which is he still represents the captain's armband, is still part of that leadership group. And I just feel like if you're Borussia Dortmund and you're trying to close the gap on Bayern, how many times have we had a conversation about them allowing their best players to leave in certain windows? And I think this is one where you have a clear centre-back that is one of the best across Europe. You have someone who can not only do it in terms of defensively, but also on the ball as well. And you have to build a basis at some point. You have to give someone like a Golazo a reason to want to stay, and at the end, just reasons to say that, hey, you know what, we're building something here, and we're going to try to close this gap towards one of the most dominant teams in Europe. Serie A, I feel like is going to be an open book, because this is still open now. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I still don't know where this is going. We still got Champions League places to decide. I do believe that there are certain names that we're expected to see on this. This is going to be interesting. Okay, immediately thoughts. I do want to talk about the best signing.
Yeah.
And Daniel Marlin and what he's able to do in terms of in that Roma shirt and under Gasperini's system.
Well, since he showed up to Serie A, he's been the best player in Serie A. You compare the numbers from his arrival from Aston Villa in January, he hit the ground running, and he has contributed significantly. Number 1 in goals, number 1 in expected goals. By the way, his goals have surpassed his expected goals, which means he's overperforming. So his ratio of minutes per goal in his Team of the Week appearances, he's up there. I mean, you only want to imagine what if they would have gotten him before Roma and given him a full season. So Daniel Marlin for sure is the best signing without a doubt. So I'm curious to see how he progresses with Roma.
I agree with this wholeheartedly. And also, just to add, I haven't seen a signing make such an impact since maybe when Mo Salah joined halfway through in terms of as a loan signing. Or even when Mario Balotelli joined, he was really good in terms of when he went back in 2013. But just the conviction, the confidence that he's had, it's almost as if like he was made for this system. And when you start thinking about the gaps in terms of Dovbek not really turning up, and then Ferguson being inconsistent with health.
Paulo Dybala, another one that's inconsistent, and not only that, probably leaving the club after this. I know they're not the same profile of player, but from an offensive prowess perspective, you need somebody to be contributing on this end, and Daniel Marlin did exactly that.
100%. All right, let's go to France. Let's finish it.
Okay. Pierre Sage has been amazing.
He has. Thank God we had someone that wanted to contest against Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that this was a little bit of inside job. Yourself?
No, listen, and what a shame, because Joaquin Panicelli tore his ACL. You know, it must feel bittersweet for him to be considered one of the best signings, one of the best players in French football. Lucas Chevalier, I think that's no discussion. He was brought over to replace Donnarumma, and he can't even beat out the starting goalkeeper Safonov now. João Neves, best young player. I can't believe we're still talking about.
I can't believe we still classify him as a young.
Unestablished. I mean, it's just like Lamine, right? An established player, one of the best in world football, and he's still a young player.
We need to have a conversation about this, because I believe that once you get to a certain age and you start achieving certain things, young player you shouldn't qualify for anymore.
Okay.
Like, you shouldn't be allowed to just enter the fray.
Yeah.
In terms of saying you're a young player because you get there by age, especially if you're a key component.
So no awards for Max Dowman next season.
No awards for Max Dowman. You know what time it is, Max. Yeah, you're grown now. Yeah. But the most important thing is make sure you, as the third member of this team, get involved in the comments. Did Sofascore get it right? Do you agree with our disagreements to some of those suggestions? Most importantly, have your say.
Hey, thanks for watching this video from Numbers Don't Lie. Be sure to catch our show every Monday at 5 p.m. on YouTube. And for news and insights from leagues all around the world, including Serie A, EPL, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.